What is going on, team? It is your friend Austin here with AP Space, and today we are going to configure the Photon 1 V1 USB J7 direct memory access loopback software. So to begin, we're going to look at our hardware solution, and we can see we're using an STM32F722RET6, and this is what our schematic looks like. All right, so this is our power supply, this is our microcontroller and connectors, and more connectors, an oscillator, a connector, resistors, and our USB to UART bridge that is right here. So we are going to need to retrieve the driver for the CP210, and to be able to retrieve that, you want to go to CP210 USB to UART driver. Then you go to downloads, you go to CP210 Universal Windows Driver. You want to download that. You go to downloads, you copy and paste this wherever you need your software to go. So wherever directory you like to store all your software, you copy that and extracts all of that. And then I've already extracted a folder into my software folder. And then what we want to do now is open the instructions and follow the instructions. However, before we read the instructions, this is the board we're testing on, and we're currently connected to J7, which is connected to the USB to UART bridge. That's U3. And then we have a ST-Link V3 programmer connected to J3, right? So you guys are aware of the setup, essentially, we now go to the installing section, and then what we want to do is manually install. And to make sure we're actually installing this correctly, we want to go to Device Manager, and what we want to do is uninstall the driver we have. And now the only thing our laptop sees is the ST-Link programmer. And what we now want to do is go to manual install, and then using Windows File Explorer, locate the driver folder. Okay, so the driver folder is here. This is what the instructions are referring to. So we've navigated through step 1, and then we right click on the syllabuser.inf file and select install. syllabser.inf. Okay. Install. Execution completed successfully. And then what we want to do is go back to Device Manager, and then we unplug J7 and sure enough, we have our Silicon Labs CP210 USB to UART bridge installed. So now that you have completed the manual install and the instructions for the USB to UART driver, which we configured this part number right here, right? And then this is the whole schematic for Photon 1 V1. And now we want to open CubeMX, and then we go to File, New Project. And then what we want to do is type in a part number. You want to click yes on default configuration. And then what we want to do is go to File, Save Project As, and then navigate to the folder that we created. That's an empty folder where we want to store our project. So this project is the Photon 1 V1 USB 1 DMA J7 Loopback 2 folder. And then we save our project there before we do anything. You go to System Core, SYS, Debug, JTAG 5 pin, you go to Connectivity, you go to UART2, you go to Asynchronous. Our baud rate is 115200 bits per second, and then that is the rest of the settings. We now want to configure our DMA, and then we go to add, we go to USART2RX, we select circular for the mode, and then we add another DMA, we add our USART2TX, and then we go to circular as well. And then that should be all set. And then we'll go ahead and save projects. We'll change the clock to 216. We'll click OK. And then we'll go to Project Manager. We'll select MDK-ARM. We'll save that. And we'll generate the code. And then we want to open our project. Then we want to go to main.c. And then now that we have that open, let's reference our image. So we need to plug into J6 now, right? We're currently plugged into J7. Let's plug into J6. We plug now our hardware into J6, and what we want to do is reference our pre-built project so you guys don't have to watch me type everything. We'll copy this section, and user code begin 0. We have our arrays, our variables, and our callback function with the receive DMA function and the transmit DMA function with 8 bytes as the size, and then we have the name of our arrays, and then we're using USART2, and then we need to copy and paste the how UART received DMA function into user code begin to, which is here. And when we save that, we need to go to project options, and then for target, we'd have to go use default compiler version 6, select OK on that, and then make sure ST-Link debugger is selected as well, and then make sure we click OK. We can save that, rebuild, and download. So now we go to debug, reset, and run. So that's running. And now what we want to do is unplug from J6 and plug into J7, right? So now plugged into J7 on our USB-C connector, and we now go to TerraTerm, and then we go to Serial, Silicon Labs, BP210, USB to UART driver. We go to Setup, we go to Serial Port, we go to 115200 baud rate, new setting. And now this is kind of something unique we'll do to essentially initiate the USB loopback. We're going to pull up a notepad, and then we're going to File, Save As, and then we're going to AP space, Software, Photon1 v1, and then we'll just save it in here. Let's call this Photon1 v1 output file 1. Okay, and then we can save that, and then we can type the string AP space into there. Then we can save the file. So we created a file named Photon1 v1 output file 1, and then we have the data AP space 1 in the file, and then nothing's happening. How do we initiate the loop? We go to File, Send File, and then we go to Photon1 v1, and then we go to Photon1 v1 output file, and then we open, and then huzzah, we have the data that is looping from the laptop to the microcontroller and then back to the laptop. And that is how you do a loopback and create USB software for Photon1 v1. You guys all have a wonderful day.